So Cahalpech is the city of Tix. It kind of stated that it was a place for a very important, powerful family. Also, some information kind of hinted that it was like, farmland, like a cattle ranch. And it was founded in 1200 BCE, abandoned around 900 CE. It was rediscovered in the 1950s. I think in the 90s it gave birth to the subdivision. Okay, I did a lot of digging. Maybe I wasn't good enough at doing it, but I gave it my best. So I will use the word mayor, but don't hold me to that because I could be wrong. Maybe they were councilmen. I couldn't find information to verify what the title was. And since I'm rambling and not really providing the full scope and the accurate information, I was looking for like the men who were in charge of keeping the place safe, expand, develop. So this is pre-independence. Belize got its independence in 1980. Now I tried my best to get more information on these people. It wasn't so easy to come by, so I might try and see if I can make it to the archives and see if I can find info there. After giving the first name, I'll just do second names after that, which is surname. I'll give the first one.
You're from Austria, right? Yeah. Okay.
And the last one, the first and the last name, or whatever information I got, would be 1958 to 1960 Hamid Musa. And then after that it would be Silva Perdomo. So Silva was from 61 to 63. I apologize. And Perdomo 64 to 65. Espat 66 to 68. Sabido 69. Luna 70 to 71. Roches 72. Batista 72. More than likely those two might have shared for that time frame. Then Andrews 73 to 74. Oopsie daisy. Ochoa 75. Sabido 76 to 78. Andrews again 79 to 80. Then Montero 80. And this one will be Independence time. Domingo Cruz Sr. 81 to 83. Those were all the men who played an important role and did their part to govern the community. I did have and found, hey Shay, all the mayors to, you know, this current day, but I felt that could be something for another time where I would do that. And alright, this one making me a little nervous right there. I don't know if he's doing a rolling start or what. The Cahalpech ruin was discovered in 1950. Now I don't think they did a whole lot during that time based on excavation. But after like some, you know, delay, you have this gentleman of Dr. Jaime Awe who took control and push for, you know, more major scientific research study. So he took control and he turned it around for the better, so that, you know, citizens of this great nation of ours and the global citizens could come and experience Cahalpech. He took control and turned it around in 1988. They also conduct their first major scientific study in the field. It's called the first field season in summer of 1988. There's a lot more information about it, but I didn't jot it down. I felt that it's my duty or my responsibility to provide people with information, but limited. Sometimes I can give you more, but other times I should limit it so that you take the initiative to come explore and experience this great nation of ours. That's a herb used for cooking. I did not realize it has flowers. I've never seen it with flowers before. Wow. Okay, today's video is about the Mopan Maya. And know that there's no word as Mayan, okay? It's just Maya. There's no such thing as Mayan. Okay, this is a view from Cahalpech subdivision. Okay, the Mopan Maya moved to Belize in 1886 from a region known as Flores Petén in Guatemala, escaping taxation and forced labor. This amazing people and owners here allow me the permission to record the door. So once the Mopan Maya decided to flee from taxation and forced labor, they decided to head eastbound. So I'll give you a little bit of history. They settled in Toledo in a town called San Antonio, and they also settled other villages in Cayo district. So in 2010 census, 11,000 Belizeans reported their ethnicity as Mopan Maya. Alright, I'm going back to this San Antonio name. There are several different communities or villages with the name San Antonio. You have some down south, and then you also have some I do believe up north, and then you have some in Cayo district. So the Mopan Maya originally settled near modern day Pueblo Baje or Veja. Bear with me, I'm not good at pronouncing Spanish names. In current day Guatemala. Then the official of Guatemala claimed that area. So the Mopan Maya packed up and head east. In 1889 they moved into the eastern part of the region, founded under the territorial name of British Honduras, current day Belize. And they found several different settlements under the name San Antonio. So now if you can see, that's the smoke off in the distance. I hope I'm capturing it. That will be the Dr. Alejo Pante Forest or Medicinal Reserve trails over there, and that area would be a San Antonio area, village named San Antonio as well, and it's up in the Mopan Mountains, the Maya Mopan Mountains or the Maya Mountains. I'm getting a little carried away with this Mopan name. And that right there is called the tourist plant. It has medicinal purpose or use for if you get sunburn, but it also has other medicinal properties as well. It's called the tourist plant. See if we can try to get a little closer to it. Then let me take a second and see how I can zoom in. See how some of it is kind of like peeling off. It's like human flesh. There. There's another tourist plant right there, but I am just in awe of the flowers. Any plants that yield flowers like that, I love it. Look how beautiful that looks. Oh man. Okay, someone told me that this plant or the fruit of this plant, the toucan, possibly scarlet macaw, but mainly toucan would consume it, and the gentleman said no. He said no due to the fact that it doesn't have any flesh. Ooh, check that out as well. So more than 53% are mixed indigenous, 25% are Creoles, about 11% are Maya, then about 7% are Afro-Amerindians. Caracol is the largest Maya site you can visit, and while visiting there you can see the Chiquibol Forest Reserve. This is a road that heads to Benque, Socots, and Clarissa Falls, and it links between Guatemala, which is Melchor de Mencos, and Benque. So Caracol is the largest Maya site, and you can see the Chiquibul Forest Reserve from the largest temple. I'm repeating the info because of the noise. So they are 53% mixed indigenous, 25% Creole, about 11% Maya, 7% Afro-American Indian. Mayans, they ate maize, squash, beans, chili peppers, meat, tomatoes, avocados, pineapple, pumpkin, sweet potato, deer, armadillo, monkey, guinea pigs, turtle, iguana, fish, lobster, and shrimp. Pineapple is originally found in South America in the region of southern Brazil, northern Argentina, plus Paraguay. So pineapple was domesticated before the arrival of Cristobal Colon in Brazil. Pineapple cultivation was also introduced to India by Portuguese in 1548. The Maya Mopan also ate tomatoes, a native of South America. Bananas are not native to the Western Hemisphere. They are from Indonesia and 2 other countries in Asia. Bike racks too. Tomatoes is native to South America. Plus there are several different species still found growing in the wild in the Andes. Brought to Mexico, domesticated and cultivated there 500 BC years ago. Sweet potatoes originated in the tropical regions South and Central America, now mainly produced in China. Sweet potato was introduced to China in the years 631 years ago. Squash are the oldest known crop, 10,000 years. By some sites in Mexico City, the seed and flesh became important part of the pre-Columbian Indian diet both in South and North America. Beans is a Central and South American vine. Avocado originated in Mexico, South and Central America. Avocado trees were first planted in Florida in 1833 and then in California in 1856. Now California mass produces most of the avocados for North America. Second, Florida. Third, Hawaii. Pumpkin seeds. My bad, I jumped the gun there. So pumpkin originated 9,000 years ago. Chili peppers, East and Central Mexico, some 6,000 years ago. But the chili pepper was cultivated across the region, which is Central America, North America, South America, independently. It was cultivated independently across the Western Hemisphere in locations Central America, Peru, and Bolivia. The Mayans were also known to brew a form of beer from corn / known in their language maize. Plus they also made a porridge mixture from it. Potatoes is a South American item, primarily Peru, and in extreme northern western Bolivia, between 8,000 5,000 BCE. So beans is a Central and South American item grown on a vine, and there are several different types of strands and species of beans. It's kind of funny when you go on these journeys and adventure about life, love, unity, and universe. Then it starts to shrink and show you how small or how tiny we are, and it starts to demolish, diminish, and destroy the state of bliss that people attach their identity to, that we are separate individual when we're all interconnected and we are linked and chained to one another. Okay, so a little history of British Honduras / the nation better known as Belize. So there was an area in Belize district that was started by buccaneer pirate Wallace. So he named a special spot. I do believe he had like a ranch, and he coined the name Wallace, or I think he named it after himself. Let's be honest, and he named it after himself. There was an area, or the little township or river, definitely a river as well, because it was on the river as well, which is current day, I'm assuming, a section that the Belize Old River empties out into in Belize City area. So the name were interchangeable from Wallace to Belize, but not necessarily spelled the way how Belize is spelled this current day. Okay, so he started like a little township, or he had a little ranch or something that grew into a town on a river, and then after that it's intermittently slowly start changing and going back and forth, where the entire country, or the whole country, was also known as Belize. So the reason for this was due to the fact that Spain had a territorial claim over in the Western Hemisphere. Then Britannia also sought claim, but Britain didn't sought claim until after, you know, the pirates were, okay, let's go a little bit in depth in history. They had pirates going on during that time when they were over here colonizing. So Peter Wallace was a pirate, a buccaneer. Buccaneer is just like kind of like a more fluffy way of saying, you know, someone who gave birth to a community but was also a kind of horrible or terrible or bad man. Okay, so they would get into skirmish. They would battle the Dutch, the French, the British, and the Spanish to take their booty, take their prize. The English crown realized that a lot of the pirates were striking major blows. They were very successful at what they were doing, so they reached out to them to try to, you know, create some sort of treaty between them, because they were British men as well. They were from the English crown. So these guys knew the region, they knew the area. So like, I'm gonna state it again, Pirates of the Caribbean, that cove is actually Belize, because they knew how to navigate the area and they had the barrier reef. The Belize has the largest barrier reef in the Western Hemisphere, and they knew there's a natural outlet to come in and out, and they knew that. So they would come in to try to, you know, salvage whatever they could salvage, patch and repair their ships. Once Britannia realized how valuable these guys were, and then at the same time these guys saw the region and realized what it had, which was the timber. So that is one of the reasons why Britannia staked claim against Spain for the territory known as British Honduras, better known and currently known as Belize. But let's be honest, the Spaniards slash Spanish, they never settled the area due to the fact that Belize City is below sea level. It's swampland. Then it has most of the coast is littered or planted by a thing called mangroves. So once the pirates and the British came under agreement, they moved in to try to dominate and secure land in the New World. The British Crown also pushed to try to get the Buccaneers rights to live and settle the current nation known as Belize. It was something else back then. It was a territory. They got permission from Spain, and once they, you know, started to become successful and doing well, tension erupted between Britannia and Spain over the territory and over the different things that they were doing, because at this point now they had merged an alliance with the pirates to try to dominate the New World. So they had a conflict, they had a battle, a skirmish, a war between the Buccaneers and Hispania, with some alliance from the British Crown. They defeated Spain in the battle, what has come to known the Battle of St. George's Key in 1798. It led to the area, the territory, becoming a British colony in 1840, then a crown colony in 1862. For some reason this is interesting to me, and I know other people might not think it's interesting, but Isaiah Emmanuel Morte was the first Belizean man to become a millionaire. And not only was he the first, he was a black man at that as well, to become the first millionaire in the nation of Belize. It also kind of stated that he was of the Igbo descendant. Some even say his parents was a part of the Ashanti royal family in current day Nigeria. He was born in 1860 and passed away 7th April 1924. He lived in Freedom District of Belize. Okay, I'm also gonna make a traditional meal that the Mayans ate back in the day. One or two of the items I don't think existed here at the time. For example, black pepper. Black pepper is a native of Malabar, a tropical region in the western coast of South India. Part of the Kerala state. I couldn't say my L with double A's there. I apologize for butchering the name. Those are the items for the traditional thing that is known as guacamole today. coined or brought to us by the Mayans. The recipe calls for a lot of chili, so this one's gonna be spicy. I'm getting a little scared now because of the acid content. Go light on the lime juice. It tastes amazing, even though it doesn't have any salt. The Mayans knew what they were doing. I wanted to cheat and bring soy sauce, but I didn't Google when soy sauce came about, and I do believe it's from Asia. So I'm gonna use lime. I didn't bring vinegar, but you can use lime to clean and wash the onions and the tomatoes. Belize got its name due to the fact that this western world was dominated by Spain. We are neighbors to the north, Mexico, west, Guatemala, south, Honduras. And Guatemala have always taken claim. So the Spaniards back in the day had trouble pronouncing Wallis. They would say they had difficulty pronouncing the letter W. So they would say Velas. I apologize because I don't speak Spanish well. I will always butcher it. And then from there later on, as they got better, then it became Belize with an X. And don't know how to pronounce that either from a Spanish perspective or mestizo perspective. These videos were done, or I'm doing these to try to like incite civic pride, let people become more patriotic, and recognize and realize the beauty and the power that lies deep within them. You're powerful beyond measure. The beauty about that is that look at all the different things that come out of our Western Hemisphere. They coined it like to try to like the conquerors coined it to the umpteenth degree to make it seem like nothing good come out of here. But I'm not gonna rant anymore. Vanilla is currently an official item that was extracted from the Western Hemisphere. There are 3 major vanilla species, and from those 3, those are all the 3 that exist globally at this current juncture. So vanilla was originally found in Mesoamerica, including parts of present-day Mexico. I do believe the area would be where Veracruz is. And the Aztecs also defeated the Indians, the different Maya or whatever they would call themselves, and they were the one that the Aztecs brought vanilla to the world, along with, I think it was a French. If he wasn't French, he was Dutch scientist from back in the day. Tastes really good, even though there's no salt in there. So there are good and bad things about Belize. There will be things that will be publicly advertised and say, hey, these are reasons why we're not supposed to come to Belize. For example, due to the fact that corruption runs rampant throughout the nation. But there are also phenomenal and amazing reasons why you could come and explore Belize. And this is it right here for cuisines, food. It's starting to explode and erupt as it experiment and explore with the different local ingredients that are available to these high-end chefs and ma and pa soda-like establishments that provide food for the mass. This one is made with flour. Know your worth. Value you. Be kind to others. love yourself. Believe in yourself. Small amount of corn and an extremely small amount of flour, and it's still too much. I'm having a hard time finishing it, and then I'm having a hard time getting people to be cool and open to the idea of trying it because I made it here at the park, and I don't want to throw away the tortillas and the beans and the onions and the guac. So it just has tiny dash of lime in the guacamole. The onions are a little acidic, so I did squeeze some lime juice on the onions to help break down the tanginess of the onion, and it came out well. And the refried beans, and then I add freshly ground pepper, and then I'm gonna add some more chili pepper on there. The more pepper you add to it, if you're not used to eating hot stuff, still go ahead and try it. The more pepper you add to it, it definitely balances out and bring out all the natural flavors and stuff. Even though I'm doing it like from the 1800s, I did not expect it to be this delicious and tasty. They would add meat to it as well, but imagine if I had meat. I would be dying right now trying to finish this, because I'm definitely gorging myself. To neutralize the oniony taste of it, just squeeze a smidge more lime on it and drop pepper on the lime, as in the chili powder. The chili powder neutralizes that oniony strong taste, and it brings out like the sweetness of the onion and the natural sodium that's in there. Now, salt have already been invented and been in use via human consumption. I just didn't do any research, in fact checking whether the Mayans were consuming salt. In time we'll find our true identity and stamp out all the unnecessary things that make the place unsafe and unproductive. She's a young country. This is a great nation of ours. We still have our training wheels on. So come support us. Come experience and explore this jewel, the crown jewel. We gotta find ourselves. Be solution oriented. We got to find clever ways on how to build our economy. We have the natural resources. We have the finance. We just have to get our mindset to get to that point where it matches all the resources and the finance that we have access to. It gets better when we, the people, expect more and require more. Not all the parks have this, so I was a little concerned and worried. They say if you have been using a system to try to get ahead and it's not affecting and invoking and creating and giving birth to other things to sustain life, then stop. Because they say keep on doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. It's called insanity. Expect better of yourself. The man require more from yourself. Educate, and not necessarily through education, but research, read, explore, look inward. The more you know and the more you understand and the more you're able and capable of loving yourself, The stronger you become, the more confident, the more bold, the more powerful you are. You recognize your inner beauty, the inner power that lies deep within, and then you can stand for something so you don't fall for anything. It's a cacti, right? But then again, it's also known as napalito. So for citizens of this area, it's known that the Mayans used to eat it. You stew this and cook it similar to like beans. It takes about that long to, maybe cook it, but the process is a little bit different than cooking when you're cooking beans. You gotta cook it like when you're cooking salted pork, or a thing called pigtail that's fermented in salt, which is the pigtails that's brewed and fermented in salt. You gotta boil it first and then dump the water out, rinse it, then add more water and then start boiling and cooking it again. You can do it in maybe a gravy, scramble with eggs for breakfast, and you can do it in soups, and you can possibly add it to beef or meat gravy. It also can be used in water with a little bit of lime. You can add hibiscus, and you can use it to make shampoo or a kind of thing to wash and clean your scalp. You can use it for headaches. You can, when you're using it as shampoo, you can use it by itself. You can use aloe vera with it as well. I do believe it also has medicinal qualities to it as well. In Belize, Sunday dinner is traditionally rice and beans with stewed chicken. Depending on the family, it would be pork and beef. And you'll have a potato salad made with assorted vegetables, which would be like the vegetable that comes in the can, the mixed vegetables, a potato, hard-boiled eggs, mayonnaise, and I think carnation milk, salt, black pepper, onions. Some people do put onions, ripe fried plantain. I was never able to master making rice and beans because you have to be masterful at like the ratio of bean kernel to the rice grain, and then you have to factor in the fluid, moisture, and then you have to be clever enough to be able to add your coconut milk at some point just before you finish cooking it as well, so you don't make it sticky or you don't undercook it and then the rice grain is hard. You flavor it with salt, black pepper, garlic, and onions. My Sunday dinner is whatever I'm feeling for that moment or that specific day. For example, today it's gonna be chow mein. So chow mein traditionally comes with onion and celery, but as you can tell and see here, they add cabbage and carrots. And you can have it with chicken, shrimp, beef, pork. Chow mein is a combination of Cantonese. I think I'm getting this pronunciation right, Hakka. The word and the meaning of the word is noodles. And the next one is pignon, which is a French word for fried. Now you can get chow mein either with wheat flour, rice flour, mung bean starch. I'm not so sure what they traditionally use here in the Western Hemisphere / Latin America. It also comes from China, and its southern region of China traditionally eats it with rice noodle. That will be the southern region of China. Fried rice is also another favorite of mine that you can also get here in Belize. And we eat rice and beans here, and you can see how both worlds merge together, because rice is originally found in China as well. So like, just part of the fact that in this Western hemisphere, the New World / Caribbean, rice is such a important staple item that we consume. It was given to us by the Chinese, because fried rice is also from China. I just put some black pepper on there, some freshly ground black pepper. And as the Mayans have shown, you need some pepper, so I'll add some of that to it as well. They state that pepper or spicy food speeds up your metabolism as well, help you to burn out the starch that you consume, burn the sugars and stuff from inside of your body. Feast on it with your eyes. Taste it with your eyes. It's the temperature, it's a little hot from the heat of cooking or process of preparing. These look like wheat noodles. The cabbage retail roughly at like about $2.15 to $2.25 US per pound. Carrots might be like $1.25 plus per pound, but if you shop around and you move around, you can find it for different prices. The onions go about for the same as the carrots, about $1.25, $1.50. It all depends on where you purchase the item from. I did put some soy sauce in there, but I didn't want too much. But you can get it with ketchup as well. I've never had it with ketchup before. They do add soy sauce, and you can get hot sauce on there as well. They will literally ask you to what condiments you want on top of your food as well. That's gonna be a bite with the soy sauce. Taste it with your eyes. I don't recommend it with the soy sauce. Each to their own, right? Try and tone it down. Add some more pepper. Let's see what the pepper does, because trying the last video made with the guacamole and no salt, the pepper definitely helped it out. So let's see what it will do here. Here it goes. Might be super spicy. The salt definitely toned, the salt now. The hot sauce definitely toned down that soy sauce thing. Brought it down to a completely different level, more enjoyable. Riquísimo, rico sabroso. Post in the comments if you'd like to see me do a review of it with ketchup. So you can tell I put a dent in it. Getting closer to the finish line. Okay, breadfruit is originally from New Guinea and Indo-Malay region, spread by voyaging and exploring islanders, then by Europeans in the 1500s. Captain Belize on board a British Royal Navy vessel called the HMS Bounty. They filled up with breadfruit and they sailed. They stopped in Tahiti and collected breadfruit to feed the slaves. They felt that it was the cheapest food to feed the slave working in the Caribbean. Now in Belize there are certain things, in Central America there are certain things that are seasonal. We haven't been able to master the form of having stuff yearly round available. So breadfruit is a seasonal item. Cassava, the market that I went to, they didn't have cassava, so I couldn't get it. So I'll try later on and have a, see if I can use it in another video to show what it looks like at a different time. But cassava was domesticated and spread via around 10,000 years ago, and the birthplace of cassava was in South America. It was domesticated in South America roughly 10,000 years ago. Then you have ground provision. I learned that the way to look this up, you have to use ground provision. That's what is called ground provision. Most Caribbean / Central Americans know it as cocoa, but when you Google it, it's kind of hard to find it by that name, ground provision. Okay, the ground provision / cocoa can be found in the Caribbean. Some are native to the Caribbean, while others are from Africa and Asia. You have the yam. I couldn't find that in the store as well, so I don't have what it looks like. And the yam was domesticated in West Africa, Southeast Asia, and tropical Latin America and the Caribbean, quite possibly. Coconut, also from Southeast Asia. It was transported by way of the Pacific, either the Pacific Ocean itself, and by way of the Indonesians or the Polynesians. And something about the Polynesians, they were also trading in the Caribbean as well. In other parts of Central America and Mexico on the Pacific coast. Plantain is from Asia. You have the horn and the French plantains, and those are the two dominated ones right now that you can find globally. India, Africa, Egypt, and tropical America. Those are the regions where it's kind of highlighted that they mass produce them or grow them in bulk for shipping at a global level. Sweet potato, the Western Hemisphere, Central and South America. I was supposed to do this video at another establishment, but then things didn't go according to plan, so I had to take a different route. So you can find cassava in Cuban / Puerto Rican cuisine. It's huge in Jamaica as well. Here in Belize, the Garifuna, they do use it, and you have the Creoles that do use it. They use it in cow foot, Cuba, it's can't believe I forgot what they call it in Cuba, but they saute it with onions, a little bit of coconut oil, hint of salt and sugar. It's very tasty. In Puerto Rico, they use it in subs like they use it in a sandwich. You can get cassava flour as well from it. Cassava pudding. Plantains. You can get it in fried chips, patacones, mash. You can get it boiled, you can bake it, you can grill it. It has to be the right it has to be at the right phase of being ripe for you to grill it. Once you grill it, you can add butter, a little bit of salt, cinnamon, nutmeg. You can also get plantain flour. The plantain trash is also useful as well. You can use it to make mats, rugs. One thing that I forgot to say about the cassava, they do state that it has the skin. There's some sort of level of little toxicity of in the skin. How much truth, I don't really know. The ground provision is called ground provision, or those items are called the ground provision due to the fact that it grows under the ground. You also have to take the eye and put it under the soil for it to grow and take flight. So that's why it's called ground provision. You can make chips out of that as well. You can make porridge. Well, I've made porridge out of it. I think I've used plantain to make porridge, Kingman. Plantain, you can even boil it, mash it, whether it's ripe or green, you can boil it and mash it. Like make a potato salad. You can add different things to it. I should try to make one of those. I haven't made one of those in a while. See if I can get someone make a potato salad, a plantain salad. With the breadfruit, you can bake it, you can fry it, you can roast it. You can eat it with fried fish, you can eat it with eggs, you can eat it with gravy, you can eat it with jelly. So the primary objective of this video is to kind of highlight, to show that how we as human beings, we tend to look at certain things and use it as a form or a tool to separate us and say this is your identity based on your appearance, your external appearance. But spiritually we're connected. Like if you see the word important, bear with me. Alright, just the word important, but don't say it verbally. Read it with your eyes. The idea behind this is to say that, hey, we're connected spiritually, right? Then food is another form of a real way of linking and connecting us, because they come from different parts of the world and we all consume it, right? We all use it for some sort of nutrition. We try to extract some sort of nutrition from it. Like the breadfruit. The breadfruit linked us here in the Caribbean, and it links us with Asia. The cassava link us, and the yam link us with West Africa, Southeast Asia, tropical America, which would be the Caribbean, and South and Central America. Look at the coconut, how from the Polynesians and the Indonesians and the Great Pacific, that allowed us to bring us under one unified umbrella via food. From the coconut we can get coconut oil, coconut butter. We can get coconut milk. We can get coconut water. We can use the palm for hats and other different things. So our looks and education, our state of mind separate us, but our spiritual being connect us. What we consume, what we eat and drink connect us. The Incas brought potatoes to us, and then potatoes landed in Europe, and the Europeans gave us a plethora of different uses for the potato or the potato. It says, okay, I do believe, well, from the sweet potato, yeah, it can help with high blood pressure and high cholesterol, the sweet potato. I think cassava, yam, yucca, they all should be able to help us as well when it comes to that, but don't hold me to that. I think they did use the potato to make plasma as well, but not as in the potato. I think it's a sweet potato. You can also use the coconut palm for thatch roof. So the cassava itself, the stem, the branches, the stick, it's an eye or a form of a root. I do believe that you can use it for medicinal purposes as well, because it do have a sap, milk like sap at that as well. So once you chop the stems, the stick, the branches off, you can replant them back in the stick them back into the ground. I'm trying to see what other purpose you can use that for other than eating. The first tomatoes weren't red, they were yellow as well. They were a lot smaller too, tiny. So sheep and goat were domesticated roughly 10,500 years ago near the Fertile Crest. The Fertile Crest is current day Iraq, Turkey, Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Palestine, Egypt. And there's also territorial state are trying to claim the fact that that whole region was or is actually a part of Africa, the Horn of Africa. Hernando de Soto brought the first swine to the New World in 1539. The Chinese were the first to raise wild pig for food. So there's archaeological evidence to indicate that pigs/swines were domesticated twice. Once in China, Mekong Valley, then again in Anatolia, in modern day Turkey, between the Black Mediterranean and Aegean Sea. The first place to domesticate cattle started roughly around 9th century millennia, or not 9th century but 9th millennium BC. Southwest Asia domesticated the first cattle. Then they were introduced to Europe by the Neolithic transition. So potatoes were brought to us in southern Peru and northwestern Bolivia between 8,000 to 5,000 BC. Yams, cocoa, cassava are considered ground position. Now they have scientific name, but I didn't go into all that. The reason why they're called ground position because the eye has to be placed under the ground or in soil, and then the fruit bears or the plant bears fruit underneath the ground. So cassava is a product that could be found in South America. It was domesticated roughly 10,000 years ago. Plantain is from Asia. There's two types, horn and French plantains. So domesticated cattle were introduced to the Caribbean in the year 1493. Cristobal Colon brought them from that point on, which would be from 1493 to 1512, to the Americas or the New World. Chicken were domesticated around 8,000 years ago in Southeastern Asia, then again in China and India, roughly 2,000 to 3,000 years later. So Asia would be about roughly 8,000, China then 6, then India after that. There's Woody the woodpecker up there. So today avocados are widely used product globally. You can use the avocado for consumption, for example guacamole, put in burgers, soups. You can extract the oil, use it for cooking. The leaves are also herbs. You can use it as a tea, individual tea, or you can combine it with avocado, mango, soursop, and lime leaf. And it would be advised when you use them, use the baby leaves. Wash them clean. Well, wash them well. You can also use the fever grass in there as well. The cacao or the cacao has become a major economic factor. It gives us chocolate, which I'd say 80 to 90% of the planet consumes that. The cacao is a highly sensitive plant too. It does not do well with chemicals, so it needs a healthy environment to sustain a life. Cassava is slowly starting to merge as a global product due to the fact that now we can use it as a flour, but then also a zonantum, a thing called zonantum comes from it that you use in pizza crust. Chilies don't need to be explained a whole lot because that's a global phenom. Let's say 100% of the planet, maybe 95 consume chili, or 90%. And just from the swine product, when the Chinese use salt to cure the stomach of the pig, well, the belly fat, to make bacon. From there, we got pork chops, we got ham. That looks like a mango tree as well. Iguanas, also known as bamboo chicken. It's slowly transitioning from the food table, and it's slowly becoming a major tourist attraction as well. So there are deciding factors, or there are things that can impact the economy based on our choices. Same as the turtle, the hikiti, that we consume. Can also be a tourist attraction as well, or it's slowly becoming one in Belize. So the Mopan, we have the Mopan River that runs from Guatemala and empties into Belize. The Shinantonich Maya site is on the riverbank of the Mopan. There are several resorts that use the Mopan River. Mopan is the word Mopan is from the Mopan River that they used to create Belmopan, and then BEL is the first three letters from Belize. Beans is also a global thing as well, consumed. It was given to the world from the Western Hemisphere / region of Central America, Latin America. As man become more dominant and dangerous, it seems like we're straying from our spiritual and frequency essence, because the word Mopan means multilateral organization, performance, assessment network, or a special body of organization for economic cooperation and development. That is very powerful right there. I love that. Let that ponder and resonate in your mind, in your state of bliss, and show you just what one word can do. So if one word can do that, one word can provide so much power and weight with it. Imagine if we take it on as individual and live in a communal, more in a unifying state of bliss. Peace out. Walk into the grocery store now, see if I can go score some supplies. Prospecting, man. Trying to score some aluminum foil. For what I'm using and doing today, I'm gonna try and get the older one. I score by stumbling across this one that toppled. Success there. Got her going. This is 1 pound of beef and half pound of ground pork. This is salt, cinnamon, cumin, turmeric, ginger, mustard. To dump all of it at once, but that was an accident. Those things always turn out good anyway. What makes a thing called hamburger a hamburger is because it's just made with a beef patty. I don't think this is a hamburger. This is more of a burger. Burgers are made with beef or pork, chicken, turkey, or vegetables. I got carried away with seasoning and forgot to make my aluminum foil. Watch the leaf change as it comes in contact with the flame. gotta be careful too, because it do blows the heat back to your hand. Like for example that right there. So I'm swinging it, and this is technique that the locals use to make aluminum foil for their tamales, to avoid from getting burned. You can hold it there. I just learned that technique, but it still gets pretty hot, because you gotta hold it until the leaf change its color. Look, it's starting to become, it's transforming from a leaf to a foil. Just to show you that I am holding it. See, I got my hands over the flames and it's changing. And you flip it and you do the same. Whew. It's best if you swinge the leaf at this phase of it. This is the first phase you should use. Alright, we got her going. Alright. Second attempt, fail. Done it before in Texas, but with water. Let's start cooking. Backup is working. Fletcher Davis of Athens, Texas claimed to invent the hamburger according to oral history in 1880. Some historian food trace the origin of burger back to the Roman Empire, or ancient Roman Empire. As I've stated before, mincemeat is what they use, beef is what they use to make hamburger patties. And then a burger is made with beef patty, or chicken patty, pork patty, turkey patty, or vegetable patty. Flip them in a few more seconds. First burger, all it had was patty, mustard, fries, and I think the pickle on the side. Yeah, got distracted there with that info. Had to pull it off. It's too much heat. And the heat dropped. Trying to figure out the right placement where it's kind of indirect heat cooking. So one is bush stick, the other one is just fig branch, and then the other two is like hardwood. The two hardwood definitely putting out good heat. Not a lot of flames, but heat. The other one put out, the first two put out more flames. So I took a nibble off of one of the patty. It's a little dry. I think I put it on the wok on when it was a little too hot. I should have waited at least about another 10 minutes or so before putting it on. It would have been moist. It's a little dry. Ooh, there's a bird nest right there. Currently in a macaw. It's just above my ankles. And relax, sit, relax, and unwind. So my patty, I definitely had the mixture done right, but had too much fire, so it overcooked it on one side and dried it out. Just saw a little kingfisher. There's the second one. Showing off. There's another one. Oh wow. Turning out to be a magical, chillax afternoon. Alright, there's no condiments with this one. Who eats burgers with Roma tomatoes? It was a major disappointment once I hit that roadblock, so check that out. Here I am complaining and saying the patty is dry. Yes, the patty is dry, but if it had the mustard, mayo, ketchup, tomatoes, lettuce, pickles, cheese, oh, this would be, oh, I think the fat to ratio, as in the ground beef, the amount of fat that needed to be in the patty, more like maybe 90 to 10 or 15 roughly. That's probably why it's more of a lean thing. Maybe that's the reason why, along with the pan being way too hot. Soursop is a tropical fruit, but not that it's a tropical fruit. It's also a natural bug repellent. If you can gain access to the leaves and you squish it up, it smells identical to the bug spray. They say that it has healing qualities to cure cancer or some type of cancer. Not 100% sure. So soursop is from northern South America / Caribbean. So the place is still under fire, and I guess we need the rain now more than we ever do to help contain it. Soursop is closely related to the custard apple as well, and both fruits you can make ice cream out of, juice, and I think a popsicle like item. Well, Raimundo is here, and the rainy season has commenced. I don't know much about Mali apple, but I know it's from Malaysia / Southeast Asia. sugarcane was cultivated 10 years ago in Southeast Asia and New Guinea. Cashew is from Brazil and it was domesticated for quite a while, and I think it got spread around the world in the 16th century. This is nice. Hello. 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 Brazil in the house. Well, they have the tags from Brazil. The fruits that I did and add to this video was by a special request from someone out of the heartland of Canada. Thank you for the suggestions, really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, by the way. Keep on tuning in. All right.